that's Cheryl North Coughlin's. And another theme that I thought popped up was the sense of physical lightness. So one of the ones that really kind of brought that home to me was Tamara Steffes' sculptural work. Which is this piece here made out of basswood, and the legs, it has 4 legs. Those are paint brushes, and you can see that it's resting on the actual tips of the brushes. I just thought that sense of physical lightness was very striking. The next piece that I was going to talk about is Nicola Norman's piece.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know if you can see that painting very well, but it's blue sky with 3 birds aloft, and the birds were in the upper corner, and I just thought that had a sense of lightness to it.
Hey, June, would you like to come talk about your piece for a minute?
So those are some of the different kinds of lightness that I saw in some of these pieces. And if we had, I do wish we had a camera I could show you a little bit better, but thank you for listening to me talk about them. And I encourage you to come and explore the show if you can in person. And I think we'll try and do a better walkthrough so that you can actually see all the pieces if you can't make it in. But I encourage you to come, and there's some real gems, and I'm sure you'll be satisfied and happy. So thank you so much for listening to me. And now June Colony is going to talk about her installation. Yeah.
Where am I?
There you are, right here.
Well, I'm inspired by what is around me. I was thinking about this, that I used to love to go to the dump. I like the fact that I have lots of stuff. I think I am innately a hunter and gatherer. And so I went to Costco and I got large boxes of cereal for my pantry. And then I just thought about these boxes and the lighter side of life. And then I looked around in my house and I just started pulling everything together, like there were spoons up here, so spoons down there. And these are actually functional. And I was redoing my house and I was looking at light fixtures that were like $200. And I thought, well, for probably $3.95 each, I got myself a unique light. These are sprayed cereal bits. And of course, you need to have your breakfast with this. The stuff that's in it, there's castrating bands for sheep. There's washers for for sinks. These are spoons that were cut off I guess for rings, and I found the bottoms. I mean, I have a room full of this stuff from my grandpa, from dad, from my own gathering. And I just go into it and I get inspired and I just start assembling. So we've got gutter spacers and fence wire. But the great thing about it is it's functional. Turn this on and off, have your breakfast. These are sprayed. You probably shouldn't eat these, but put it over your milk. Enjoy yourself.
Thanks, June. Next, we have Susan Pesci-Strobel here. Let's see, let's start with this one. Sorry. And all these works can be viewed more clearly in the online gallery on our webpage at josephy.org under the exhibits, Invitation to the Lighter Side.
Thank you, Don. Hi, I'm Susan Pesci-Strobel. As Don was just saying, I have 2 pieces in the exhibit, and I actually, a little bit like June, I never buy anything new. I pick up my things at thrift stores or wherever I can find them, and then let ideas come. And I also absolutely love tools and gardening. I just thought of giving some of our very basic and mundane tools a little bit of a bright spot and sparkly and that sort of thing. So this is my homage to the mighty spade. And I found silk, not just silk, but pink silk thread, embroidery thread online, and I embroidered the spade in that, just make it luxurious, and a little bit of gold here and there, and I just wanted to put it in its burst of colors that happens in a garden that the spade makes possible. And of course the frame had to be gold as well. And a wonderful, perfect thrift shop find. The price for such finds is that the embroidery actually reaches into the framing. And I thought, yeah, well, idea of looking at things, just keeping them light, this would actually still work with that. So, and then I have an, yeah, thank you.
2 pieces.
This is my other piece, a basket, kind of a floppy, soft basket. I called it the 7-handled basket, which was one of those accidents that you let happen when you start. I had no concept for the basket when I started. I decided that, just like writers sometimes let the character take the story wherever they want to take it. I did that. I left it kind of floppy. I used wool and mohair yarns, and put a little bit of patterning here with the wool yarn, but I also added, and when you come, I invite you to find the little mistakes, intentional, which I picked up when we're in Arizona for the first time ever, and bought jewelry from Navajo people, and they said there's always a mistake they put in for human-made, and imperfection is us. So I appreciated also the holes that Dawn put in here to keep it in this misshapen shape. And the 7 I thought is a magic number, but it happened on its own. I counted the stitches, I had 49, and it just had to be 7. So thank you. Yeah, enjoy. It was fun.
Thank you. I can just, yeah, if you want to stand right here, the light's probably better.
Want to tip it up a little bit? Hi, everybody. My art is pretty portable, so I'm just bringing it to you. I'm Christy Athens, and I also scavenge pieces. So that seems to be a Wallowa County theme, is scavenging work. I make collage, and so I have 3 pieces. I'm just going to talk sort of generally about them all, but there is one. And so what I do is cut out images and words from books, and I try to create some tension. We're going to have a lighting issue here also. I try to create some tension between the words and the images, and often I don't know what I'm doing while I'm doing it. I just kind of put it together and just kind of feel it out. This one, though, was very intentional, and I made it, that's Columbus, if you didn't know, Christopher Columbus. And I made it when all of the monument statues were getting pulled down across the country. So so if you couldn't read it, it reads, ensure that if old person lets go and falls, he doesn't take you with him. So that one I kind of had some fun with. So I guess that's all I have to say about mine. I know we have a lot of more people, so thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Okay. Melissa, are you still there? We're close to your piece. And again, this is not exactly how we planned this, but thank you for sticking in here with us.
That's okay. We can wing it.
All right, good. That's what we're doing. Here, this is Melissa Lee.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a glare on it, but I think everybody can probably see it. So this piece is called The Locals, and it is a watercolor. I was sharing with Linda before we got started. I started watercolor about 6 years ago now, after my grandmother's death. And so I'm fairly new to this medium, and certainly to art sales and shows. But I loved it, and I kind of waded into it. I didn't do any classes. I just thought it's water and pigment. How hard can this be? And it was much more difficult than I realized. I can see Linda nodding her head, and probably a lot of other people too. So yeah, I jumped in, and it was a trial and error and that kind of thing. I live in the Dalles, and I got very fortunate that people in my small community wanted to purchase my work, which shocked me, and I told them no. It took me probably another 12 months or so of painting to be able to release my work and feel good about that. So so that's a little bit of my bio. When I first started, I wanted to do what I called serious art. And so to me, that was things like landscapes and florals and portraiture and things like that. And I don't know why I wanted to do that. But I did, and I thought that made me a real artist. But what I kept coming back to very naturally was whimsy and things that were ridiculous. I sold a painting 60 seconds after posting a photo of it on Facebook. It was the fastest I've ever sold a piece, and it was of a pig in a tutu on a unicycle. And people, they like to laugh. We like to laugh when we like to have fun, and we like to engage in that way with each other and with our artwork and with the things that we surround ourselves with. And I gave into that and just decided, if that is the way that I'm built, is to create humor and be funny through my work, I'd rather do that, because who wants to look at me trying to do a serious landscape? I don't want to be serious all the time. And apparently my art doesn't either. So this particular piece is called The Locals. My fiance and I love Joseph. In fact, we'll be over there again this next weekend. And so we'll come in and see the show. But we love to spend time at the Stubborn Mule. It's our favorite restaurant there. And so, we like to belly up to the bar and spend time chatting with Gary and with Coley and with all of our friends in Joseph that we've, developed relationships with through our travels over there. And so this piece was a little bit inspired by that, and by those that we've met, and the wildlife and the beauty of Wallowa County. So yeah, basically what you're seeing is a group of friends bellied up to the bar, having cocktails and not thinking about COVID. So that's essentially what I've done here. It's a fairly large piece. I can't remember the dimensions exactly, but I would encourage everybody to get to Joseph if you can and go see all of the amazing work.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
So let's see, Tamara, are you still, I see one of your pieces here. Do you have a particular one that you want to speak about, or all three?
Whatever you prefer.
I mean, I think all three are interesting. I could just push it around. You could say a few things about each. Does that
Okay.
sound okay?
Okay.
Right.
I was mostly gonna say some general things to start with.
Oh, okay.
But
That's fine.
okay. So this one's called Claustrophobia. And my work is usually about the interaction between humans and our environment. This series, which I call Walking Houses, kind of upends that a little by using the built environment more as a metaphor for human interaction. And so some of these are about some kind of serious things. I mean, I think all of us have gone through some claustrophobia in the last couple of years, but I like the playfulness of this medium and to express it in maybe a more playful way. It was interesting to me when Cola talked about a physical lightness, because I had been thinking more about sort of the element of play, which comes about both through just exploring what the wooden media can do and trying to do things that might be a little unexpected with it, like bending it or supporting things on little itty bitty legs. But I also think that abstracting these walking houses, as I call them, down to sort of a child's simplification of a shelter also gives them a little playfulness inherently, because it takes us back to that simplicity, I hope.
Should we
So I
take a
didn't
quick
know-
look
Yeah, sure,
at the other two? And
sure.
we're sorry, hope I'm not making anybody seasick here. Let's see. So there's this piece.
This one's called Upended. And it actually started, I actually made it during a previous recession at the end of when the housing bubble burst, thinking about all the underwater loans. But I find that it actually ends up, and I love this about abstraction, it ends up having some relevance today too, when now everything's been upended and there's no doors, there's no windows, we can't get out of our houses.
I'll do a quick, Coley did show your piece once before, but we could just do a quick of it too. This creativity, walk softly and carry art supplies.
There you go, you have it.
Yep. Which brings us right up next to Terry. If you're ready, Terry. Are you?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, let's see. So we've got these two, I believe. Do you have three works in the show though? Do you want to start with these two, or do you have a
Sure.
preference?
And,
Okay.
and it'll include the other one as well. So my two-dimensional abstracts, I actually do realistic landscapes and still life. And I've found that abstract is maybe more exhausting because I know when my landscapes and my pairs look like what they're supposed to. And these I will set up and keep going back to. And I used to teach writing, and one of the things that fell into this as well was the idea of killing my darlings. And so in my abstract pieces, those little precious moments in the piece, I like them, but I know that they're too center stage. So I go in and kill them and cover them up and then add layers on top. And then my box assemblage that's down there in the corner there, I started when I was super excited about a current woman who, Virginia McCracken, she does these little animal boxes with just super cute. And so I did, I have a lot of mice that I do in vignettes in these little houses. But the other person that I'm really drawn to is Joseph Cornell. And he was the kind of the inventor of this assemblage art. And so I wanted to get it to be a little more serious than just mice in their habitat. And so this one is called Keys to the Kingdom. There's a rusty key-shaped piece that I can't see it right now in this photo, but I picked it up when I was in Hutchinson, Kansas a couple months ago. And then attending church, we're at a church that hands out these little prepackaged communion cups. And so I told my grandchildren to stick them in my purse because I had an idea. And interestingly, I didn't really think this was very controversial. I mean, it's all to me just keys to the kingdom. I've got a solid rock of turquoise on the right again. And then the abstract I did is for the sin and blood of Christ, and the gold is the divinity. And I just this morning I tutored a student, and I was telling him about coming on here to talk, and I showed him this picture, and he said to me, I just feel like that's kind of sacrilegious. And so I thought, oh, good. I thought, oh, good. That's where I kind of want to be with more thought-provoking art. So I apologize, but didn't. And that's kind of it.
Would you like to take a quick look at your third piece?
Sure.
Here.
I'll just say as you're going that was one for sure that I really liked it. I loved the colors, the brightness in it. But then I always put it on my easel, and I keep walking by my art and I go, would I put it up on my wall? And I thought, no, it looks like one of my students did it. So again, I went in and killed my darlings and just hid them under the white acrylic and gesso. So that's that piece.
Great. Thanks, Terry. I think I see we have a couple other. Linda Robinson, we're right near your piece. I'm going to just hold it because I can't give it a good view. So I apologize if it's too shaky. Here we go.
Thank you, Dawn. Well, I retired as a elementary school principal about 10 years ago and needed to do something different. And it needed to be about beauty, and it needed to be about sitting still and kind of recentering. So I started watercolor, as Melissa said, thinking, oh, that's fun and easy, and I love color and water, and it's free and flowing, and then discovered that actually it's very technical and it's quite difficult. And anyway, it's still playful and it's still fun. So this is a somewhat early piece, and I like it simply for the colors and the bit of texture, and I call it horizons. There's sky, there's, everything I do is abstract. So it's open to interpretation wherever it takes you. And yeah, and I was thrilled. Thank you for accepting it. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I have Debbie Hubanks and Roberta. Well, actually, Roberta, we're right here next to yours. So let's talk about, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if I can get a good view on it, and I can move it around.
I make artist books and design binding. And this piece actually started at a residency at Pine Meadow Ranch, and was kind of exploring, if you do just kind of turn it around to show the backside, was kind of exploring like, where are the areas on this particular binding, which is a stone-born binding, which is kind of innovated by Gary Frost, to kind of create some interaction. So you can really flex those covers open very widely. And what'll happen is those spaces will open up and reveal inside there. And then if you turn it back around, you'll see spaces inside are
kind of reflective of that. And it's done on some really heavy Arch printmaking paper. And so it has this structure that's very kind of foundational. And as I was working on it, it just started feeling very much like kind of cathedral-like. And I love that idea. And I really wasn't sure where it was going to go. It was more the structure that I was interested in. And then when this call came out, I kind of was thinking a little bit about light in terms of those people that are kind of our points of light in our lives. And my earliest memory is I was raised when I was little by my aunt and uncle, and my uncle Dewey, which his name was Dewey Balsley, which makes my kids just laugh uproariously, was a diesel mechanic. And he was like the person in our lives at that time that was so foundational in terms of not making us feel like a burden. And I mean, they were in their 60s and they had this 5-month-old baby. And so kind of doing, my earliest memory is my aunt hollering at him as we walked to church, that his fingernails were never, his hands were never clean, and he couldn't get them clean enough for her, for church in her eyes. And so I love that this kind of has this cathedral feel, but also is kind of overrun with these fingerprints and graphite marks that are kind of an homage to him, and just that lightness that he kind of imbued us with through a time that could have been really traumatic.
All right, thank you, Roberta. And I have to say that it was also packaged really lovely. I always appreciate that. Let's see. So Debbie, oh,
Yeah, hi.
okay. I think we have these two, and then we have another on the back wall.
Okay.
Gosh, I'm sorry. You know, this camera just is not ideal, but I can get a little bit closer maybe and hold it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking backwards too.
Well, all three of the pieces that I have in the show are pastel pieces, and they are vintage toys put in collections. My husband and I love vintage toys, and I really enjoy painting them. I think they make me happy. So I think that that's a lighter side to explore. And like I said, they're all pastels, and I just love working with them and the reflections that you can get. And I hope that these pieces bring joyful memories back to people that might have played with them in their childhood, or you know, seeing their kids and grandkids having played with them, and just bringing back memories to people and making them feel happy. And I've done, like I say, a whole series of these, and I have a couple more of them at the Salmagundi Club in New York right now too. So it's been a fun series to work on.
Show this last third piece over here. And again, I just encourage everybody to go on our website and check out the online gallery so you can see those pieces with a little more clarity.
So this one's called A Chip Off the Old Block, with the you know, the blocks there, but you probably can't see it so well, but it does say "Go Nuts" on there. So.
All right. Yeah, these are
a fun piece to work on. And we have chipmunks all around our house. We live in the woods, you know, in the middle of the woods, and I have all kinds of wildlife roaming around. I love painting wildlife too. And so I had to bring them into the picture on this one. So thank you.
cool. Thank you. They're very well rendered too. It's a little hard to tell with camera, but let's see if we have Coley here too to speak, but I just realized we didn't really give you a broad view of the space. So see if I can just wander around for a second while we get to Coley's. work. Okay. And is there anybody that I missed that's out there virtually that would still like to speak about their work? No. Okay.
Cheryl.
Cheryl,
Oh,
yes,
Cheryl.
Cheryl, you can. You should come downstairs. Okay.
Hi, I'm back. So these two pieces here are from a collection of 4, and I was kind of looking at children's toys. And I collect rocks. That's one of my favorite pastimes. So I have tons and tons of rocks, and I started labeling my drawers of rocks really funny ways. So I had a drawer labeled rocks that look like chewed gum, rocks that look like internal organs, rocks that look like so many different things, and it just cracked me up every time I look at it. So I made a piece about it, or I made a few pieces about it. So this one's rocks that look like magic, and I've got a piece of magnetite here, magnetite crystal, and some druzy pyrite, a copper nugget. And this is the biggest garnet that I ever found in my life, and it's huge. Oh, I was so excited. I was like 12, I think, when I found that. And these are for individual sale. So if you see one you like, you just come on by and pop and just buy it up. But the other side here, I have rocks that look like chewed gum. And most of them are turquoise because, you know, they just really do look like gum. And you got like more minty gum, and you got more spearmint flavor. I've got some quartz that looks like, you know, one of those like gross white gums that loses the flavor after like 10 seconds. I got that kind of gum. So yeah, and the other ones in this series are rocks that look like food and rocks that look like other rocks. And these are all brooches, so you can wear them on your sweater. And then my other piece is over there,
Yeah.
and it is all right. So you can get as close as you can, so you can look at the. So this is a portrait of a rock, and then the actual rock is on top of the painting. I don't know if you can see it up there. But I collect these rocks, and some of them are just so tiny, but they look so cool, and no one's ever going to appreciate them but me. So I decided to paint them bigger so that people can see them. And it's just like my device to get people to look at my cool rock collection. And this one in particular kind of has like the shape of Oregon in it. I thought that was pretty cool. So I painted it a little bigger so you can see it. And that's pretty much, that for my artwork in the show. Thanks for listening to me talk about it.
Yeah, Cheryl, did you want to say a few words?
Oh,
I could just, you can
Sure.
stay there. I can, oh, look, here it
well,
is.
you got
right
one
here.
piece right there. So I did mom jeans. These are my mom jeans. These are stoneware ceramics with the high waist jeans. And anyway, I just thought they were hilarious because they're not just regular jeans, but and I think they're about 10 inches high or something like that. Anyway, so that's one of them. And then another piece that I put in was this is a rebel cat. And you can see it smoking a cigarette. I guess it's called Rebel Pussycat, just but yeah, so that's also ceramic stoneware. And I actually was a little disappointed about the glaze that came out, but it's supposed to be a gray and black tabby cat. And it's done after my brother's cat, Lenny. So, and then I just have one more, which is right here. And this is a royal rebel bunny. So this queen has a crown and a very regal robe, but she's a rebel
So like a lot of my stuff, it's very childish, and I like stuffed animals. And so they're kind of based on stuffed animals and whatnot. So I think those are my 3 pieces. And I just think they're funny. I kind of like the other woman talking about just having, whenever you put clothes on an animal or have them have some sort of human quality to them, there's something about it that just makes you kind of smile or laugh. And so, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Cheryl.
Mhm.
I guess since we're right here, I'll talk about, I have a couple pieces in the show too. And this one looks quite a bit different in person than it does online. So I really appreciated Coley's theme this year and doing the things that bring you joy. I really like making fiber sculpture, but people don't like to buy them so often. So I find that there's less opportunity for me to show them. So I took advantage of the theme this year. And this is sort of, I don't know, these things happen. There we go. Sort of by accident, but when it was finished, I think this looks like light. This is like my interpretation of a light fixture. You can see on the inside, there's a little yellow, well, maybe you can see. Yellow center, and just like the separation of the colors of light in a really silly way. I think that's good. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us with our technical difficulties, but I do think that we had some really interesting comments and insights, and it was nice to learn more about you and your work. So I think that's all we've got. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and maybe we'll see if we can get a cleaner video of a walkthrough of the gallery to post online if anybody's interested in that.
No
Okay.
worries.
Yeah.
Stuff.